Alrighty, it has just been turned 12:45. Ladies, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again from a rainy Mauritius this afternoon. Let me firstly welcome everybody from around the world to the session, the opening ceremony of the virtual event of the African Fintech Festival 2021. It's been a long time in the making, but firstly from our side, an apology for the delay, but also from moving the festival from a hybrid event to a purely virtual one. I know we've got a lot of feedback from across many African countries around the struggles they had in trying to attend the festival, and hence that kind of prompted the decision to be taken to move this fully virtual, give the opportunity for everyone to participate, but also look at a time frame early next year where this event can happen live in person, so everybody can experience the wonders that Mauritius has to offer. So once again, very warm welcome on our side. In our opening address this morning, this afternoon, we have Dr. Segun, who will be doing an address from the African Fintech Network, followed by Mr. Poonoosamy, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Mauritian EDB. So, Doctor, maybe I'll start with you. The festival's finally here. Good to see you. And maybe a few words from you on the opening ceremony.
Thank you very much, Michal, and I want to join Michal to welcome everyone to this, special event, the third African Fintech Festival. We had all expected that we will all assemble in Port Louis in Mauritius, but you know what's going on, so that's why we are here today, all virtual, and we look forward to, see coming to Mauritius sometimes in the future as an aftermath of this event. Third African Fintech Festival is coming on the heels of the first one that was held in Nigeria in 2018. That was the year the African Fintech Network was established, and then followed by the second festival in Uganda in 2019. And we have seen a lot of developments since that time with the kind of impact that the festival and the African Fintech Network has made. And for your information, the African Fintech Network is the network that unites all national fintech associations of African countries. Right now, there are 34 countries within the network, and it's hoped that by the end of 2023, we will have onboarded all the 54 African countries so that we can all innovate together, advance as one, and unleash the potentials and creativities that are bound all over Africa, whether it's a big country or whether it's a small country. And talking about that, we've seen a lot of developments in Africa in the last 2 or 3 years, some of which could be attributed to the great work that the wonderful team in the AFN, the board, the management, have done. Hitherto, you hear only about 3 countries when you talk about fintech investments in Africa: Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya. But today, we've seen countries like Ghana, Egypt, Rwanda, and so on joining. So this makes us feel good that yes, some of the aims and aspirations have been met. We also seen a lot of growth in investments, coming into African fintech. The first half of this year, for instance, about $1.5 billion or so have come in compared to what has come in. I think that will be more than what has come in many years before then, even though it's still a drop compared to the total of about almost 40 billion that goes into global fintech investment. But I think it's been a lot of improvements, and we are really very, very happy and glad, to see some of these things happening in Africa. So programs like this, we also help to showcase development and also the next steps. What next steps do we need to do? With this investment, we need to create a lot of new unicorns now in Africa, and you can talk about Flutterwave, Super Cash, Andela to some extent, it's also fintech because of the work they do, Wave, InterSwitch, OPay, and so on and so forth. So we want to see a lot more of this, and programs like this helps to position Africa, some of those companies in a way that will be able to attract investment, be able to know some of the challenges. And so I'm talking about challenges. Africa is the youngest country in the world, youngest in terms of the median age is about 19 19 years. About 70% of Africans are under 30. So it's a great continent where that can lead the world in terms of innovation and creativity that are unleashed by these young people. And so as we move on in this festival, we'll be looking at how we could work together to remove some of the challenges that are inhibiting progress. Issues of, financial inclusion, for instance. How can we have more Africans being financially included, not only financially included, but even economically included, so that we can see growth and prosperity in Africa? How can we also accumulate indigenous capital so that all the unicorns we are having will belong more to Africans, and so on. Why still rooting for foreign capital? And of course, issues of talent, which companies like Andela are solving, and other entities are also looking at the developing African talent, and of course regulation. So I'm looking forward to a lot of this. And you can look at the program, fantastic program. I've been lined up by the organizer. I want to congratulate and thank the team in the Mauritius African Fintech Hub, our member institution that had the hosting right for this. They've done wonderfully well, Michal and the team. I will thank you very much. We're looking at the schedule. I can see a lot of things coming up. I'm sure after this session we'll have the EcoBank story. And by the way, EcoBank is all the leading supporters of African Fintech Network. They are present in about 35 countries in Africa, and we are very grateful for EcoBank for the support that they have given to the African Fintech Network, and also other regional bodies who are partnering with us: African Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the African Union. We've done a lot of things with these institutions, and we are looking forward to their continued support. So please sit back and relax and make sure that you attend all the sessions or as much as you can within the next 3 days. I'm really looking forward to this. I've seen some of the activities, I've seen some of the programs, talking about regulation. I'm sure that Dr. Conte and the panel will be talking about the next steps in regulation that will advance and promote growth. We are talking about things that are going to transform Africa from the commercial view by Jonathan. There's quite a lot of interesting sessions. So I want to urge everyone to please stay tuned throughout and enjoy it. And I'm sure at the end of the day, by the time we are reviewing on Friday, we will have seen a lot of development, which should then lead us to the next steps in terms of what we are going to do next year. So thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Michal and the team again for the wonderful preparation. You know that put in a lot of hard work in the last 18 months preparing for this, and we are really quite happy and proud of what you have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, Doctor. Thank you very much for the kind words. And I think part of the reason why Mauritius decided to join the African Fintech Network is that the purpose of the associations align. For us, the African Network, Fintech Network is trying to achieve greater collaboration with all the jurisdictions on the ground, promote healthy environments or ecosystems for the startups to thrive. And you mentioned some big names already, but I think we both shared the same kind of feelings that's just the tip of the iceberg. Africa still has a lot of gems, a lot of opportunities on the ground, a lot of challenges that can be addressed by the fintech or the technology that's been developed by these solutions on the ground. So we are very excited to be a part of it. A big thank you from to the African Fintech Network for choosing us to host this festival. I know we have a little surprise for everyone in the Friday for the closing ceremony, just to highlight maybe who's going to be taking the flag over and where we will be potentially seeing each other in the next 12 months going forward. So a big thank you from us to you, Doc. Thank you very much for all the committees, all the members, all the 34 ecosystems that have participated in this. Because working in a vacuum, we can only do so much. Only through open collaboration and execution on the ground can we really impact the people's lives on a daily basis. And for me, this is what this journey is all about. How do we make people's lives better through technology in the financial services space? So Doc, big thank you from our side. We look forward to hopefully hosting you a little bit earlier next year. But now moving on to the next speaker from our side, I think in any ecosystem development or fintech ecosystem development, there's many stakeholders that come together to build a thriving fintech ecosystem. That goes from academia to entrepreneurs to the private sector. But a lot of the times, people tend to forget about the government and the impact that they have on these, and the importance of them as a stakeholder to build a conducive environment for these type of innovations to see the light of day. Regulation, fintech, as I keep telling everybody I see outside of medicine, I think can't work in a vacuum without the input and the conversations with the various government stakeholders to make sure that these type of technologies are able to be consumed or used by the users on the ground. So from that side, I'd like to give a big warm welcome to Mr. Ken Poonoosamy. Mr. Ken Poonoosamy is the CEO of the Mauritius Economic Development Board, who has been a big supporter of this initiative locally in Mauritius, but also aligning with the Mauritian mandate to integrate ourselves more into the African continent and work with our partners, with the other ecosystems to make sure that it becomes a win-win situation for everyone. So Ken, I'd like to hand it over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Michael. I would say a very warm welcome to all of you from the world. Let me first of all acknowledge Dr. Segun Aina, the president of the African Fintech Network, and of course, Michal, for the excellent work that you've done as the CEO of the Mauritius Africa Fintech Hub, and all the distinguished participants from overseas. Indeed, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the third edition of the Africa Fintech Festival 2021. A landmark event for the fintech industry. It is indeed a matter of pride for Mauritius to actually have such a major event. Of course, we would like such an event to be physical so that we could welcome all of you who are connected to this fintech festival from around the world. But as we say, there would be the next time for us, and for sure we would like to welcome you. So I want to really commend the Africa Fintech Network through Dr. Segun and also the Mauritius Africa Fintech Hub for pioneering the organization of this event in collaboration with EDB. And amid the testing times that we are all witnessing right now with the pandemic, it's not easy in this critical juncture, but we know how fintech sector, the digital economy is booming during these times and how they have been of tremendous help. So I would say that, in fact, today the digital economy is becoming essential component for the Africa's growth. In recent surveys, it has been revealed that the sectors poised for expansion in 2022 have strong digital delivery links from fintech to telehealth. And therefore, this is undoubtedly essential for us. And the pandemic has enhanced the use of fintech innovations in Mauritius as in Africa. We believe that fintech can be a strategic enabler for many countries in Africa if we allow it to flourish by supporting startups, develop the right frameworks to attract new breeds of entrepreneurs, ensuring greater mobility of people, and as the president said earlier, promoting greater financial inclusion, which I think is essential because that helps also to broaden the scope of opportunities. Now, at the EDB, we were mandated for the promotion and development of the Mauritius IFC, and we work closely with the Mauritius Fintech Hub to position Mauritius as a fintech hub for Africa. The Mauritius Africa Fintech is linked to the EDB. 3 years back, we laid its foundation by providing the initial seed capital and necessary support for its setting up. And today, we are proud that the Mauritius Fintech Hub has made substantial contribution towards building a thriving fintech ecosystem in Mauritius, be it in terms of skills development, capacity building, shaping the regulatory framework, or in fostering innovation via its innovation hub. The Mauritius fintech industry gained momentum back in 2016 when the regulatory sandbox license for innovative activities for which there were no regulatory framework in Mauritius was instituted. And I just wanted to say that Michael underscored the role of government and the sort of enablers. And sometimes it is important that you have the right frameworks, the right environment to enable new startups, new ideas to flourish. And this is precisely what the government of Mauritius did back in 2016. The RSL allows an investor to develop innovative business activities, including fintech, for which there were no regulatory framework or legal framework. It is worth noting that for the past 3 years, the RSL was administered by the EDB. And since September 2018, the EDB had issued 9 licenses for a diverse portfolio of fintech projects, including initial coins offering, cryptocurrencies, exchange platforms, digital wallets, crowdfunding platforms, blockchain-enabled alternative securities platforms, blockchain-based KYC system, and robo-advisory wealth management platforms. And it is a matter of pride for us to see that many of these RSL license holders have matured, more so that a few of them are already looking at expanding and asserting their footprints in other emerging markets on the continent. And more importantly, we see today how fintech companies are making a tangible difference to small businesses, enabling ambitious SMEs to have access to loans, capital, and equity. In fact, the pandemic has shed light on the importance of fintech and innovation and has unleashed its true potential as key engines in driving the Mauritian economy. Fintech solutions have helped to broaden and speed up online payments, money transfers, access to loans, including loans supported by government in response to the COVID-19 crisis. Additionally, aiming to reverse the strong headwinds induced by the pandemic and become the fulcrum to lead innovative activities for the region, the budget speech of 2021-2022, which was entitled Our New Normal, the government introduced several measures to promote further this segment of activity. And among these measures, we have included a legislation for virtual assets. With new technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence becoming the new norms, over the past years, Mauritius has also enacted additional enablers in the fintech space, such as the Custodian Services Digital Asset License. With this Custodian Services Digital Asset License, Mauritius becomes the first jurisdiction to provide a regulated environment for the custody of digital assets. The Digital Asset Marketplace License was also issued by the Financial Services Commission. There were guidance notes on securities token offering and financial services peer-to-peer lending rules 2020. All these instruments help to consolidate and nurture further the ecosystem in which fintech companies actually operate and grow. And I would like to say that to further position Mauritius as at the forefront of the digital revolution, the government set up the Emerging Technologies Council, whose mandate is to harness the full potential of the ever-evolving technologies and platforms by bridging the gaps of a fully established industry 4.0 ecosystems, and also lay the foundation for Industry 5.0. Furthermore, Mauritius has been embracing digital transformation initiative services to enhance the quality of the life of our citizens. The latest initiative undertaken by government was the Digital Vaccination Pass, which is now a reality. Also, provisions for the deployment of 5G have already been made in the government program 2020-2024. The launch of the 5G services is an important milestone in the development of our vision to digitalize our economy further. Today, these new regulatory frameworks are sowing the seeds for the future of fintech, to improve the lives of individuals and to build a more dynamic economy by embracing technology and innovation to create future jobs. To attract new talents, the government has accordingly streamlined procedures to allow professionals to work and live in Mauritius. Fintechpreneurs are now eligible to apply for an investor occupation permit for innovative startups and can also benefit from a tax holiday of 8 years under the investor certificate scheme. I would like to underscore that the mere fact that Mauritius has been given the honor to host third edition of the Africa Fintech Festival bears testimony to the tangible progress we have made in our journey to become a fintech hub in the region. With these words, I would encourage the international fintech community present here today, online, of course, to engage with us to learn more on how you can set up your fintech company in Mauritius and explore joint ventures with our local startups to expand further into other markets. The EDB has a virtual booth at the festival, and our team is looking forward to assisting you in your fintech journey. Before ending, I am pleased to announce that the EDB is organizing a finance and investment week from the 5th to 9th December 2021 in the margins of the Dubai 2020 International Expo, and a FinTech Day will be organized on Thursday, the 9th December, in collaboration with the MENA FinTech Associations. Allow me for this platform to extend an invitation to all of you to attend this business forum dedicated to FinTech. I would like to conclude with a heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to the Mauritius Africa Fintech Hub for their support and willingness to put Mauritius on the world map for FinTech. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Ken Poonoosamy, CEO of the Mauritius EDB. So, ladies and gentlemen, from our side, this is going to be the opening element. I have been tasked with some of the more nuanced elements around the festival. So, firstly, as was mentioned very briefly before, we do have a surprise to who is going to be hosting the next edition. That is going to be going live at the closing event on Friday. And it's just a couple of other housekeeping things from our side. So we all been part of the virtual conferences around the world. If you are here to listen with one ear and play solitaire on another, this is not for you. We really would like to ask you to participate in some of the discussions, because the themes that we've chosen for the festival in collaboration with the African Fintech Network has been based purely on the feedback of 34 countries saying what are the various needs or challenges within their various ecosystems that need to be unblocked so that we can all win together. So some of the elements, as has been alluded before, that are covered throughout the festival range from regulation, which is obviously number one concern or priority for any fintech operating in any jurisdiction around the world. The second, but not any less important, is that nature of skills. And the feedback we've received, maybe just to give you some insight into some of the things we've done internally and across Africa, interviewing over 4,000 companies from startups to large established corporates around the continent, their number one need outside of a friendly regulatory environment is skills and talent on the ground. So, and based on that feedback alone, not only have we developed and new programs designed to address this in a real-time situation, but also some of the themes have been taken from that to say, the festival is not the KPI. What are the discussions that need to happen in order to unblock the various things that are blockers in the system, so that the right conversations can start and actions can be taken in order to unblock those discussions moving forward. And unfortunately, because we did go virtual, our skills element, we had a we had an education roundtable with the industry, private sector, not only Mauritian, but across Africa, to discuss some of the challenges of how the academia are building the right skills of the future. What do they need to do to be part of this journey? Because a lot of companies are saying that from day one, a lot of investment has to be put into the youth to get them ready, job ready from day one. So how do we help assist the framework, the academic framework that already exists, to make sure that the youth have skills? I'm not talking about just pure knowledge-based skills. How do we have critical thinking, soft skills, communication skills, problem-solving skills? Because technology will impact their life in some way and form. Nobody can escape this. This is not a fad. This is not a once-off thing that's happening. This is going to be part of our daily lives going forward. And it is going to impact everybody on the continent and on the globe as a whole. Because at the end of the day, whether you're in fishing, mining, engineering, or whatever you're going to do in your life or run an entrepreneurial business, at the end of the day, money needs to move from point A to point B. So how do we do it? Cheaper, faster, more secure going forward. And that's the nature of what some of the purpose of these sessions is how do we address those challenges? So as mentioned before, regulation, a lot of regulation discussions are happening. On the back of that, there's already discussions at COMENSA, at SADC region, and all the other jurisdictions around regulation. How do we streamline it? Could we standardize it for Africa? Could it be exportable? These are some of the real challenges that exist, and let's get the conversations going. Around the skills element, same thing, right? Where everybody's saying we need skills, we need skills. What are the nature of the skills? What are the gaps that have been identified? Please contribute to those discussions. Every question, every query you have, the platform swap card that we are utilizing for the platform is there for a purpose. So please work with us on throughout and over the next 3 days. The second theme, that's also the third theme that's been identified, is innovation and entrepreneurship. How do we unearth more of these gems? Doctor alluded to the fact that Nigeria has managed to put out 3 unicorns over a very short space of time. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many purpose-driven innovations on the ground that exist in Africa. How do we make sure that there's a conducive environment and a supporting environment to make sure that those innovations not only see the light of day, but impact the people that they are meant to, because they are very much purpose-driven. I tell everybody from around the world that the innovations that are coming out from this continent are world-class, if not better than what else is being developed across the world, because the purpose is true. Entrepreneurs start businesses because they've identified opportunities, challenges, or hardships that they face on a day-to-day in their day-to-day lives, and therefore they're using technology as a means to unblock those constraints and build businesses around them, and therefore adding value and solving those challenges on the ground. So the third theme that you'll see throughout the day and some of the discussions is around innovation and entrepreneurship. And last but not least, the fourth pillar is around the funding element. So let's say we get the regulation right. Let's say we get the skills right. Let's say we get the type of innovations right. The fourth and just as important pillar is the deal flow or the funding or aspect. The doctor alluded to the fact of $1.5 billion being invested into African fintechs out of 40 billion. Now, my maths isn't too good, but that sounds very close to about 4.1%. How can 1.4 billion people, or how many people there are in Africa and the African continent, that is a disproportionate amount of money is being seen in Africa? How can we move that forward? So yes, there's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of funders that we engage in are part of this platform are looking for opportunities. We're seeing a lot of entrepreneurs asking for this opportunity. And once again, this platform has been put as a theme, or this platform is going to be used to address that theme. So those are kind of the core 4 pillars, if you will, that are being addressed over the next 3 days. So we encourage you, please. Solitaire is fun, and all of the side gaming is amazing, but you'll learn a lot more by being active, engaging, utilize the platform. It is freely available, and let's get impact going. Let's make the right connections. Let's get things happening in Africa. So from our side, just a very quick overview of the festival. There are going to be some sessions around the predictions, around the research that has been done on the continent, around the opportunities. Doc alluded to the fact that everybody talks about Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya. Let me tell you, Egypt, Morocco, Ethiopia, and all of these, Senegal, all of these countries have some amazing things happening in their ecosystems. And for me, the African Fintech Festival is a way to highlight those achievements and those innovations and make the world aware of what is happening on the ground, and become a platform to link those opportunities with the funding, address the skills issues, so that everybody can work in tandem to solve these challenges moving forward. Lastly, but not least, because the tech team is going to be on my case with regards to time, we have made some provision on a 5-minute interval between the various sessions going forward over the next 3 days. Once again, this is feedback purely from you. Everybody alluded to the fact that in our June event, it was a little bit too tight. People weren't able to get coffee or have breaks or sort some things out IRL. So between every session, you'll see there is a little time gap, so it allows you to attend things in real life before coming back and attending the session moving forward. So once again, our wishes from Mauritius, from the African Fintech Festival, is for everybody to be part of the discussions and also part of the solutions that are developed, so we can add value to this beautiful continent of ours and move the continent continent forward. A warm welcome once again. Enjoy the sessions going forward, and I will leave it at that, and I'll leave it to the keynote speaker, which is the GCEO from EcoBank moving forward. But all of the sessions have been handpicked. Once again, don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we had over 280 speakers for 45 slots. We even had some presidents lined up, but things had to change accordingly, as alluded to the first, right up front, that plans tend to change, but that's still in the planning. It's still in the execution phase, and we really hope you enjoy these sessions, learn from these sessions, share the learnings going forward, so that we can be together early next year and in a secret place going forward. Thank you very much and enjoy.